Uh, I see they're using the model, the civil affairs model, right, the special forces model in the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. I think it's a little bit early for Israel to do it, but if we don't have anybody, if we can't get teams over there, additional teams, then Israel has to do it. I saw a couple people that I think could handle being in that close to Palestinians and make them feel like this is a real relationship. Again, this is one of the problems that we're lacking in Israel and Israel military and police is the ability to come off honest and really care about Palestinians. And yeah, I've seen them. They can be pretty nasty. But again, how many years did it take for them to get that nasty? So, well, we have enough people in Gaza to feed the Gazans. We have enough Palestinians in Gaza to feed the Gazans. We just need team leaders, and we need, support to set up the kitchens, the money. So again, where are the Qatarians in this? I'm sure the Qatarians, the Saudis, and the okay, yeah. So the problem is who's allowed into the Gaza as far as Qatarians, Saudis. Well, hire Americans. I guess that's what you're going to have to do. So the Saudis, the Jordanians, the people that have an interest in feeding Palestinians, hire civil affairs officers that they will allow to contract into the. Well, the problem is Israel won't necessarily grant access to certain, Qatarians and Saudi citizens and things like that. I don't know if they will or won't, but something's saying that. Yeah, I think it's Mossad and Shin Bet that they have a problem with that because they don't know. They all could be spies. And again, an American could be spy too, but I guess they trust some of those people. So what you should do is you should, speak to Israel, but you contract with the civil affairs officers, and former special forces civil affairs would work also. Any special forces person that's been on an indigenous mission and done so successfully, like Major Gant, those people, they can do it. And then you also have your security teams there, right? But the civil affairs mission has to be preeminent. And once you see if that's where Israel went, and that's where I tried taking it in like 2007 and 2008, and I think so did Condoleezza Rice. And George Bush and anybody else who was involved. Cheney, I guess. We were trying to increase it. I don't know if we would say we were doing that, but, because I was online trying to help. My stuff disappeared offline because they didn't want anybody saying it. Right. But my cardio machine agrees with me. We were trying to increase civil affairs operations with the Palestinians. So we were trying to move their government forward, and with the end result, hoping that they could have a functional government that at least acknowledges Israel's right to exist. Because they weren't functional enough. They couldn't handle being a government with that much chaos and that much conflict going on, within the culture and within the region, and the settlers, the Hamas. You had all these people from different angles, and you need a very strong government to be able to govern under something like that. But again, they could have got to the point where we could get to the point of making them like a state government, right? Where they would be, there would be a federal government and a state government, which is where I think we are for now. Right. So somebody has to finance additional kitchens. If what the humanitarian Gaza people are saying, they did put additional information out on their X page. To show they're using the civil affairs model and the special forces model. Right. I guess I could show that. I may have been in the middle of it. Like, sometimes I don't get physically involved with the things I'm involved with until I need to. And then when I look and I see, okay, I'm already there. And it could be them too. It could be in a mind meld. I'm definitely in a Green Beret mind meld. I've never been a Green Beret. I studied their stuff before I went in the government or the military, and I studied it while I was in the military as far as self-study. as well as SEAL stuff. I thought about it, but at that point, I was waved off in an Army Times article. I don't know. Maybe in what I needed to do. I don't know. All I know is Hashem, I was asleep, but I'm sure Hashem didn't want me to go to, where was it? Macedonia. Just wasn't something I was interested in. And it was probably be mechanized, and I just didn't want to do mechanized again. If they had allowed me to re-up for like the 10th Mountain Division or something like that, I'd have stayed. Somebody's blocking. I'm trying to get it on here. Yeah, it's metaphysically blocked. What happened? It didn't come up, or did it come up? Something's up. Didn't switch over. Yeah, there's a lot of metaphysical chaos entering into the area right now. Okay, there they are. Now I should be able to bring that up in my screen here. Oh, there it is. So they're using like a special forces civil affairs model. We used secure distribution sites and local Palestinian workers who work alongside our humanitarian and security personnel. That's a Green Beret. That's a Green Beret model, like a civil affairs model. All of whom are risking their lives to one thing, to feed the people of Gaza. So and then they say they need help. You have enough Gazans to feed the Gazans. Right. So we have to get the rest of it. I'm sure could you approach, who's running it? I don't know. Does CIA run this thing? Who's running it? Chapin Fay, I don't know who he is. But go to, you have to get with Israel and ask them what they would accept. And maybe they'll accept anything. I don't know at this point. But what you want to do is you want to approach the Saudis, you want to approach the Qatarians, you want to approach United Arab Emirates, you want to approach the people in Turkey, the people that have an interest in feeding the Gazans and have the money, and ask them to contract with the people you need. Come up with an overall package of what you think would do it. You have to ask them for the money so you can go get civil affairs officers. You get former Green Berets and Rangers and whoever you want to get. The security personnel, Rangers have done it also. So I don't know. You have to look at somebody's package to see. But a Ranger can definitely do security personnel. I mean, an everyday grunt could too. But you want somebody who's going to think and move a little bit better. You don't want people with the raghead mentality. Right? They call them ragheads in their mind, and when they're in their little groups, you don't want those people. Right. So you need to approach the people that can fund this, and you can do it yourself. All you got to do is bring in teams, and they don't have to be under your banner, or they could be under your banner. But you need to find a way to finance additional civil affairs and security people and kitchens, right? So, boy, you can fly those in. They're all over the world now. These mobile kitchens, mobile medical sites, right? And that's another thing. The medical, I guess Samaritan Purse is helping, but there's other people. You get with the Saudis, the Qatarians, Turkey, United Arab Emirates, Jordan. The problem is I don't think Israel's ready to let their military in and help. So that again, would be like a peacekeeping force, but it would be more so, civil affairs. And then peacekeeping forces do civil affairs work. Right. So and essentially that's what you're going to do. You're going to create a civilian peacekeeping force, kind of. Right. And then you have to figure out what number you need. And again, you can have it all. Again, they may not want to finance all of it. They may want to finance part of it. But if they'll finance all of it, don't bring it all at once. Bring it in and make sure it's working. One location and the next location and the next one. You probably set up a couple extra locations. Again, I would go, like if you're in the South, I would go completely. Actually, you do have a lot of locations if I remember. Let me see. Well, the best thing is to get the Gazans busy. You can even get these kids. You can even get them doing cleaning up. You have to, you're cooking and your adults are cooking. The kids come behind them and clean the kitchen. And you don't want to put child labor, but there's nothing wrong if it's kind of a family atmosphere. The kids can help you clean and they feel like there's somebody. They can help you package. Make sure they understand sanitation and all that. But again, they grow up, they help while they're growing up, they're learning. Maybe the older kids, like that one's a little bit older there. The older kids, they're learning responsibility and taking responsibility for their community. Right. So, and that would work for all of us. Right. And to give them something to do. Again, the idea is the more you give the Gazans to do to take care of themselves, feeding and things like that, and cleaning up and things like that, the less trouble you're going to have, the more they'll feel like things are a little bit more normal. I wish I was well and I could go over there. I loved being in Egypt and Israel. It was great. It was dry area. I like being dry like that. Right. That's why I have allergies. My hereditary actually is desert, arid. Right. Because we're from the Middle East originally. That's why I don't have trouble when I'm in arid environments as much. See, there it is. Contact. Yeah, I mean, I can't see MBS turning down kitchens and all of that, and food, and hiring civil affairs people. And all those other people. There's a foreign minister that's kind of here. Well, the Qatarians, they can help you with this stuff. If the other stuff isn't working, anyway, they want to be a partner. They'll help you. UAE is the other one. United Arab, UAE. Turkey. I'm hearing from Bahrain. They can help. I'm like, who am I? I'm like Benny Hinn here. Hire civil affairs. Right. Make sure you first clear it with what's that, COGAG or whatever it is. What do they call that thing? You're going to want to, I don't know what this thing's called. What's it called? COGAG, COCAD. Israel, Israel. Well, to get things done, the propaganda is a propaganda, but it doesn't actually help us get things done. So I'm not here going to look at some Israeli who's suffering when I know there were Palestinians that suffered. Again, Kogat, that's it. I mean, that's Israel, right? It's make sure I know. I think it's Israel IDF. Who are they? I guess we just say Kogak and IDF, but. So no, it has to be higher than that. Clear with just say Shin Bet. Well, we don't want somebody shutting it down or being nasty to it after we do it. And we should have talked to them, and then they come and they destroy it because some psyop. They don't like it. Make sure you first go with Kogat, IDF, Shin Bet, etc. Right. And PM. I guess put PM. We want everybody on. We want everybody to agree to what we're going to do. So what we want is the civil affairs people. You want to pull them in, and you probably have people. Samaritan Purse is nice, but we need to figure out how to get other doctors in there. Again, I think what's keeping them out is nobody wants to go into a war zone, right? So again, at some point, we'll be able to bring people in. Former military doctors, do we have any that want to do like this kind of work? Right. We just need the money, right? But if you're doing the job you're doing and it's not propaganda, I can't say whether it is or not, then I think those people would finance you if it was real. Right? Right. Let me put this on. What's that guy's name? Witkoff? All right. May 13th. Right, that's a long time ago. What's going on here? Do you have another page somewhere? What's this? It's something else. Right. Well, he said, wait, there it is, special envoy. Oh, okay, that's the other one. Okay, go over there. We haven't posted since. Well, we don't want it. We don't want to appear that it's this biblical confiscation of land, and Huckabee keeps doing that. He's got to get away from that. Right. It's not even based in the Talmud and the Mishnah at all, right? Which tells you how to operate the 5 books, you know, right? And what the situations were there. Where'd it go? I thought I put it. Well, we want to increase surveillance in the Gaza if we can too. Electronic. Oh wait, where's the? Wait a second. Did I get that on Witkoff's page? Oh, did I tell Kogat? Kogat, whatever. That's March 26th. When is that? Why are they posted there? Is there a new post? Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, the idea is that eventually you'll replace these teams with Israeli and Palestinian people, you know, people that are put in position to do the civil affairs mission. Well, they're admitting they don't have enough people and enough whatever, supplies and everything. But I mean, the food, I want to eat it myself. So it looks pretty darn good. Get me hungry here. But the more you put the Palestinians to work, the more they will heal. I'm being cursed sexually right now. Who's doing that? I don't know. I can't see them. No, they're here. No, now I saw her. Yeah, nasty, nasty. No, she does a certain thing. She must make. If I saw her, I'd probably know her because she makes a certain face. I actually end up making it because she's connected to me. She shouldn't be. All right, let me see here. No, the insight is, again, if they think it's BS, they won't do it. But the insight is that we probably could get financing from those, nations that are interested in the peace plan, but are, until that could get anywhere, we They definitely, I believe, are interested in feeding. It may be already, helping, but let's see if we can put a package together for civil affairs officers and security personnel. And then I don't know if you're paying the Gazans or not. You should be paying some of the Gazans, if not all of them. Right. Well, it's part of returning to normalcy. You might, right, so you might want to pull a meeting together with Kogat, IDF, Shin Bet, maybe some Assad people, the Prime Minister, and just, lay it out there. Is anybody against this? Say, no, we're all for it. So again, forever hold your peace. They can't come by later and go, well, I thought it was a bad idea. Well, then why did you use, false flag to destroy it? This is kind of weird here. Kali spell. Right, so the more stability you put in to the Gaza, the easier it will be to hire people for it, including especially doctors. Now you might find some more doctors. We need doctors. Those nations might be able to send you doctors. I don't know. You got to clear it with, again, the idea of sending Arabic people from another country in to Gaza, you have to clear it with Israel, and that's probably a sensitive subject at this point. But again, we do need doctors. So if we have some volunteers, or even, the problem is they're not ready for military doctors, but we could do it with military doctors and military teams from Arabic nations, but again, they're not probably going to approve that. I mean, they even have probably mobile kitchens and other things that they could ship, right? Well, we bring in, they have the mobile hospital sites and all. They have mobile kitchens the same way. You just bring all that stuff in. They can send that stuff in quick. I just don't know where it is. I'm sure it's around somewhere. Well, I guess you see, you're doing more those methods, right? Again, that's the problem, is we need to set up generators and all that type of thing, and that's just not there, I guess. Right? They're doing a lot of primitive cooking. Well, let's see if we can step it up a little bit. See if they'll finance mobile kitchens and things, generators. I mean, they have more money than anybody we know, so just gotta get them to do it. I mean, they can afford it, right? That's why they don't when they try to kill you, like the deep state tries to kill me, they don't let me work or do anything, because it's easier to kill somebody that way. And you deteriorate that way. So when you work and you're around people and all that, you heal. Well, that looks good. Me. I see you got some young people working there. That's good. I think it's over there. Looks like a young guy there. Right. No, Islamic people owe me a lot. I've done a lot of work for their communities inside and recommending things, even in war, trying to. Again, Afghanistan failed because of a lot of reasons. It had nothing to do, with lack of effort or anything I suggested or anything like that or anything Gant suggested. The deep state took over the effort and it failed. That's just the way it works. Right. I guess that's it. But yeah, get some funding and just increase that model over and over again. I'm not sure how many, you have these locations, and I don't know what kind of location. I guess where was that map? I don't think it was broken down completely. So you're going to need some additional kitchens. Yeah, it would be nice if we had local distribution teams. And so there's maybe you're doing it, I don't know. So we don't have to have that mass displacement of people to go get food. Right? Again, the elderly and the disabled. I'm trying to look for that map of where they're, or some sort of map. And be quiet. Huckabee, you have no idea what you're talking about. None of these Christians know Judaism at all. Humanitarian distributions. Maybe that's how the Israelis lost their Judaism. They listened to these rich Christians. Christian service. But this isn't 24/7. These aren't points that are service points. Do not reflect precisely each point. A physical facility. So we don't. Okay, infrequently used. Okay, yeah. So these aren't staffed 24/7 necessarily, right? So that's what we need to do. So you need to get more money. Because, from what I'm seeing here, you should be fine, but it's just, that's where you help somebody. It's just, right, not always 24/7. I still don't know what you, at any time between 2023 and 20, okay, yeah. Okay, so I don't know what your situation looks like now, because if it's in the south, then you need to get people up in the north. If it's in the north and the south, then you need to get the people in the middle. So again, distribute it. Open your kitchens up as you see the physical need. And again, there's nothing wrong with moving a kitchen to a location where people aren't, or few people are, because they're not there because there's no kitchen. So what you're going to try to do is disperse. See, I don't know where your kitchens are and what it looks like, but you want to disperse it also. If everybody's in a certain, again, there's a certain area, what is that? Gaza City is where they're going in. I don't know what they're going to do there, if they want people out of there or not. Right? You want them to move away from where the conflict is, the active conflict, but you don't want them to go to one area. You want them to try to spread out a little bit, and you don't want them to have to travel too far for food. If you could deliver it, it'd be great. I guess that's it. Well, stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God.